So in this tutorial, I'm going to talk from the basic to a fully finished image. There is no real-time creating process, but step-by-step of detailed explanation and demonstration of how I achieve the result. Okay, go to your brush menu, select this default Photoshop brush, and then go to Windows, Brush, open up the brush property, then click on Shape Dynamic. Make sure you turn on paint pressure and do some adjustment. And then click on Dual Brush, and don't forget to turn on to check on Build Up. And then back to Dual Brush. You want to make sure the settings like this. Well, now I'm going to create another brush. So select the same default one, and then go to your brush menu or brush property. Turn up shape dynamic and scattering, and the shape dynamics the adjustment's gonna be like this. Make sure turn on the paint pressure and the scattering adjustment. Flatten the round brush even more, and now you have this brush texture. What you can do is you turn on your brush mode, you set your brush mode to overlay, pen on top, gives you this pretty effect. Enlarge the brush size to very large, and then I'm going to pen the sky. Okay, here I'm going to demonstrate how can you use Photoshop default brush to create huge amount of grass. Select this one, go to shape dynamic, adjust it like this. Should I have my pressure on? Maybe some scattering. Then okay. So here's the grass. Anyway, here's my finished result. So now I have my palm tree and foreground grass ink shaped. I'm going to do some quick demonstration of those. Use the oval brush I had before. Go back to this kind of texture brush, then set overlay. Plug into my highlights. Here's how I light up my color. Here I'm going to do some foreground building. So I'm going to create a tiled brick brushes to paint on the wall in the right. So you go to brush menu, open this full finish brushes, paint, click select this one. Same thing, turn on shape dynamics. and spacing. I'm gonna do water on the ground. Use your lasso tool, create a shape, whatever shape. Gonna select airbrush. And then I'm going to flatten the airbrush and make it vertical. Going to just do darken the area and linear dodge to make some highlight. Of course, I can make the vertical back to horizontal. And finally adding some detail. Add the lookout tower. Add the sunlight, add the light part. So here's my finished foreground. And then I just duplicate the lookout tower and then adding a random texture on the left. Add some sandbags. So now it's the time adding some characters. And that's after amount of detail added in. Since it's a battle, it's impossible only to have him as the only person in the game. So in the background I add some other figures. Of course, the very foreground character in silhouette shape. I also give this character a goggle so it looks more fun, interesting. So the last step is I pretty much have this overall painting finished. I'm going to give it a last overall lighting adjustment. I hit your Control Shift Alt E on your keyboard to flatten everything to one layer. Give it some blur. Gonna do some color balance adjustment. Hit OK. Change the layer property to overlay and opacity 40. And give it a mask. Erase the part that you feel it's too much. Add an interesting text. And now it's the final image. Enjoy!